Everything just feels like a big deal, and I'm trying to I'm somebody who struggles with kind of like God's in control, but yet also he's not like controlling. Welcome back to Sisters in Session, where therapy meets sister talk and nothing's off limits. We are two sisters who overthink everything, laugh too loud, and try to make sense of life's chaos one session at a time. From relationships and self-care to the messy middle of growing up, it's part heart to heart, part comedy hour, and all real talk with zero chill. So grab your coffee or drink of choice, and let's settle in. It's time for your weekly dose of sisterhood and self-reflection. Hey guys! So, if you haven't picked up just by the intro yet, you will if you're listening. And then if you're watching, you have already noticed that it is just me today. So, as you guys know, we're trying like this little mini summer series as we're both super busy right now, and it just didn't quite work out for us to sit down and record together. So, I'm just going to give you a quick little update, kind of where I'm at, and then Lex and I will be back together for the next one. This one is going to be coming out a little bit late, a couple days, but I wanted to at least put something out there so that it wasn't basically a whole month since we got to talk to y'all, since we're doing it every other week. So it's just me today. It's not going to be super long, but I just wanted to, I like to do it. I love to do it. So yeah, I'm just wanted to sit down and do it myself. Hopefully it's raining right now. Hopefully that doesn't come through. Hopefully I'm able to cut that audio. So we normally start off by saying like what's been up, what's new. So not too much. As you guys know, well actually you might not know. If you follow me on socials, you would know that I did break my ankle. Yesterday was 2 weeks ago. Sorry, hold on. There's a spider and I have to kill it. Sorry. I knew that there was a spider around that area because I had seen some cobwebs, and so the fact that I saw it, I wanted to kill it. So anyways, yeah, so I broke my ankle 2 weeks ago. First, let me tell you what happened. It was so stupid. It was dark out. We were leaving my parents' house. I was carrying Penny in my arms. Lamar was behind me. I was carrying Penny and she was on a leash. So I had to leash her in my hands and my water cup. And I was walking down the steps and I had turned back to talk to Lamar and it was dark out. And I saw, like, I was just like, do you know how it all happened so fast? So I remember thinking right at the last second, is that another step or am I at the bottom? But it was so fast that like it didn't matter. I was already like taking the step, and it probably, there was a lot of things going against missing the step, obviously, in general. My hands being completely full, so I couldn't even like grab a hold of the railing or anything. And I was also wearing like platform sandals, so I'm sure that that didn't help either. But basically, I just went completely down with nothing to break my fall, and I just must have with missing the step, so stepping, but it being from higher up, and then my ankle twisting, and then just like me fully falling on it because I couldn't stop myself at all, broke my ankle. And which actually I just thought it was a sprain because everybody says that, sprains are so much worse than a break. And it was brutal. It hurt so bad. I said it was broke right away. I don't handle pain well, guys. You should have seen me just like lying in the grass trying to tell Lamar that my foot was broken. And he was just telling me to calm down and that my foot was not broken. Again, not my foot, my ankle. So anyways, long story short, I thought it was sprained. So through the years, we've had lots of injuries in our house, especially with my brother. So my mom had like an air cast type thing. It basically like it has the two air things up the side. If you're not watching, you're not going to see my emotions. But anyways, and then it Velcro straps around your ankle. So they had wrapped it, my aunt and Lamar had wrapped it with just like an ace bandage and then put the air cast, whatever it's called, on top of that. And that's just kind of what I did. So yeah, I just assumed it was sprained. Lamar said that his sprains really hurt. However, there was one thing that was different. He kept wanting me to try to walk on it because he said that it will be brutal and it will hurt, but the sooner that I can start to walk on it, whatever. Well, I would try like day after day. So I never went to the doctor or the emergency room or nothing to get an x-ray. Just assumed it was sprained. The thing that should have maybe been a dead giveaway is I think sprains swell really badly. And mine did definitely swell, but like not like I've seen some. So day after day, I would just try to start putting any sort of weight on it. My sister had crutches, so I didn't have like I was taking care of that way. So like I was keeping it elevated, ice, all the things, using crutches, but every day I would try to start or like I would try to stand on it, start to stand on it, but I could not put weight on it. I really wanted to. Everybody wanted me to be able to. No, that's not true. Well, I mean, of course, everybody wanted me to be able to, but like Lamar really wanted me to be able to, and I did not want to disappoint him. So I tried really hard to put weight on it, but it just hurt so bad. So work was kind of like I had to cover some people at work that week anyway. So I really didn't want to go to the emergency room. We have insurance, but even with insurance, you guys know. I didn't want to go. So anyways, the days went on, and then on Friday, I only worked till 10 or 11, and there's a walk-in clinic. So I didn't even have to like make there's an orthopedic walk-in clinic not too far away. And so I was like, if I can just make it till Friday, and then I'll just walk in there. I don't even have to make an appointment. Don't have to go through the hospital. Don't have to start with like a primary care doctor to get to the orthopedic. Just like, don't even get me started on the American healthcare system. But anyways, I was like, okay, Friday after I get off work, I will go get an x-ray. At this point, I was just kind of like, just to roll it out, like just to make sure. I was pretty sure that it was still sprained, just to make sure that it wasn't broken. I did not in any way think that I was going in there to be told that it was broken. But I also thought they might be able to tell me something to do to be able to start to like be using it again. So anyways, got it x-rayed. The doctor, after they took the x-rays, she came in, she's like, so kind of tell me like about what happened or like where you're feeling the pain, what type of pain it is. And I kind of went through everything. And I was like, okay. So whenever she didn't come in and say, you broke your ankle. She just kind of was like, so tell me kind of like what you're feeling or like, and I was like, okay, just a sprain, which is fine. I was happy to just know or like confirm that. So she said, kind of tell me. And like in my head, I was like, okay, it's just a sprain. But then I got around to it and I was just like, but I can't put any weight on it. Like I want to be able to like start using it, but I can't put any weight on it. And she goes, wow, she's like, you did break your ankle. And I was like, or no, she said, well, it is broken. And I was like, okay, great. I only waited 5 days to figure that out. And it was broken like at the bottom of the tibia, kind of like where it meets the ankle joint, something like that. And that is the weight bearing bone. So it's on the inside, which is the tibia, and like down by the ankle. So yes, broke my ankle. So then she did give me an air cast boot, like the actual, the big clunky boot. And she said that because it's the weight bone that's broken, I'm not supposed to put any weight on it for 2 weeks, and then they'll re-x-ray and decide if I can start to walk on it in the boot. And then I don't know what the steps are after that. So that's where I'm at. That's how my summer's been going. It has been so hard. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but it has been so hard. Nothing about my everyday life is easy or normal right now. I can't go anywhere. Well, that's not true. I can get places by myself, but do you know what I mean? Like, I can't shower. I have to bath, but I can't even really get in and out of the bathtub by myself. I have to like sit on the side and then like swing my legs over and always have my crutches nearby. Everything just takes 10 times longer, 10 times more frustrating. The first week, guys, I was so emotional. Not to mention, we had plans. Like that weekend, we were going to go to a baseball game and an amusement park. And I delusionally thought, like, maybe if I just take it easy those first couple days and then like wrap it for the weekend that we could still do that, but there was no way. And then finding out that it was broke, definitely not. But like I know it sounds stupid. And I just want to preface this by saying that I know that okay. I know that there are a lot of people facing way harder things than this. Like, and like, I genuinely know that. I know a couple of my actual close friends who are facing things harder than this. And then, like, you don't have to go too far outside of like my inner circle till I know of more people facing much harder things. But hey, this is my reality. So I'm not trying to compare it to anybody else's. I'm just trying to compare it to my previous reality. And yeah, the first week I was so emotional. Like, I genuinely felt like I had to grieve what I thought this summer was going to be like, the things that we were going to do, just everything. And the first week was really bad, anyways, because it's not even like I could sitting around the table for a meal hurt because my foot was down, or like somebody would bump it, or like, again, sitting around the table to play a game. Like, it just all felt so overwhelming because it just hurt. Like, on top of the inconvenience of all of it, like in pain. So I was struggling bad. I cried multiple times every day, whether because it hurt or just because I was like frustrated and sad and mad, so angry. And yeah, so the first week was brutal. It was really hard. And then, okay, so I'm like coming into that was 1 week, like I'm kind of like in the third week. Yesterday was like 2 actual weeks. And so I'm kind of like moving into the third week. Where was I going with this? Yeah. And in those 2 weeks, like I have fallen more than I have fallen in the last 5 years, literally. Like I'm not super graceful anyways. And then I'm on crutches and I'm always trying to get somewhere like in a hurry. It's just a recipe for disaster, this entire thing. And so that on top of like, so like every time I just fell yesterday. So like that's 2 weeks and I'm still not. Ugh. Everything just feels like a big deal. And I'm trying to like, I'm somebody who struggles with kind of like God's in control, but yet also he's not like controlling. And sometimes that's really hard for like my mind to wrap around like how that works. So like I do think that he could have prevented it from happening in the sense that like he just like made me pay attention. Like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like I do think if he wanted to actually use the control and the power that he has or that he could use, that he could have prevented it from happening. I don't know how. Made me pay attention, gave me an extra breath before I took the step, whatever the case may be. But also, he doesn't rule the world that way. So, and sometimes life just happens. But I think in that also, he can use the things that happen just because life happens to teach us something. And I've been trying to figure out what I am supposed to be learning during this time. And I don't have anything written down. So it's not going to be super well said. And I don't even have things figured out. So I don't even know what I'm going to say. But there are just like little things that I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's it. Or maybe it's just to slow down. Genuinely, maybe it's just to slow down and realize that I can't go and be everything all the time at 100%. Because some days I do like to think that I could, but that's just not going to be the case right now. So I'm going to have to come to terms with that. Everything is so weird. Like, I don't even feel like, I can be a mom right now. Like, I can, but also, like, I can't. Like, I can't help them do like, if my kids need help with something, then it's probably something that I need help with because I can't do it. Just for example, like, sure, I can, like, kind of get them a bowl of cereal, but then I can't carry the bowl to the table for them on crutches. The only thing can carry with I can carry, like, some stuff, like, if I hold it in my hand while I'm, like, holding onto the crutch, but, like, it has to be something that can't spill or need to stay level or, like, in a bag. Just, like, little things like that, like, it is so frustrating. Even so I can kinda get myself a cup of coffee, but I can't carry it anywhere. So you should see me, like, trying to, like I, like, sit it way out in front of me on the counter and then go down and then move it down further, and then I, like, go sit and see if I can, like, reach to get it to where it needs to be. It's so crazy, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be learning because I do think that while God lets things happen, he also uses that time to, like, grow us. Maybe it's my patience? Could be my patience. Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, thankfully, Addie Grace is pretty self-sufficient, but still, and just like little things. But Crew, sometimes he like genuinely needs assistance with things, and I just like I can't do it, and that's really hard. And then I feel bad because I feel like I'm just a burden to everyone. Poor Lamar, bless his heart. I mean, he's just doing the most because he has to do everything. Guys, okay, I had a broken arm. I mean, granted, I was only in third grade, but I would still take that over a leg because you have to do things one handed, maybe, but at least you can get to where you need to go. I can't do laundry. I guess technically, if somebody carries the laundry, gathers up the laundry, and then carries it to the washing machine, and then makes sure everything is where I can reach it from my crutches, technically, I can do laundry. But if everybody's going, if Lamar, for example, if he's going to go through all of that, he's probably just going to put the laundry in. And then I can fold the laundry because that's sitting, but then I can't carry it to the rooms to put it away. The one day I did try, it basically took all of my energy and it took way longer than what it should have, or could have, I guess I should say. But I did technically do it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, everything is such a chore. And I just don't know that I'm handling any of this with a ton of grace. And maybe that's what I'm supposed to be working on. I'll be honest, I don't necessarily even think that there's maybe one thing that God could be using this to show me. It's probably multiple things. I definitely have room to grow in lots of areas. But I guess it's just slowing down and actually taking the time, picking myself up, not having a pity party, and just like spending all of this extra time that I have with him to see what he might want to show me. So that's a thought. I will say, so as you guys maybe remember, I have been doing like the Bible recap. So that's kind of what I've been using for my devotions. I have kind of just been for a while. Okay. I like to take notes because I feel like whenever I write things down, I remember them better. And so I was doing really good with like sitting down, setting that special time aside to actually focus on what I do listen to the Bible for the Bible recap because I can follow it in the plan. And then I listen to the podcast, obviously, that goes with it. So it's a lot of audio. So in order for me to like really pay attention to what I'm listening to, I also like to take notes at the same time so that I'm really like, again, listening, trying to retain. Now, with some of the things that we've had going on, the Airbnb, the camper, the whatever, all of that stuff, summertime in general, it was a lot of me just like listening and listening on like 2 times speed just to like, I mean, I was listening, but I wasn't taking the time to like spend like actually, I was hearing, but I wasn't listening. Now, there was a time in my life that I would have thought that like, because I was doing it that way, like me breaking my ankle was like a punishment from God for not spending enough like time and taking my devotion time seriously. What a bound way to live. but I don't actually think that anymore. However, again, since I am incapacitated, for lack of better words, that is something that has been on my heart, was to just listen. You can't really do anything anyways. You can't walk, or like, you can't be busy. There's no way for me to be busy with on crutches with my foot, like not being able to put weight on my foot. Like, there's really no way for me to be, quote, busy. So that is one thing that has been on my heart, is that now there's no excuse for me to be rushing through that time. And I don't like to anyways, because it's been so helpful in like really understanding the Bible and the fact that it's chronological. Anyways, I'm not going to go on and on about that. But however, just things like that. So no, I don't think God punished me by breaking my ankle because I wasn't spending enough time in my devotions. However, I do think one of the things that he could be teaching me, since sometimes life just happens, is to slow down and giving me back the gift of time in order to really dwell on and, meditate and think on the Bible and the things that I'm learning. So I have been trying to do that. So I do think there's just like, the first week I was kind of like very selfishly like, what is God trying to show me? What am I supposed to be learning? But I think it's just going to be like a continual small little things as I try to spend additional time with him and stuff like that whenever I can't do anything else. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I think it'll be ongoing, like I just said, because, like, for instance, in about a week or so, I'm supposed to go back to the doctor, get it re-x-rayed, and see if I can start putting weight on it. And even if I have to be in a boot, if I can just like walk around without crutches, even if it's in a boot, I will feel more like I can do things, obviously. So if and when you're listening to this, if you would please pray for my appointment, that the bone will have healed enough that I can start walking on it. I need to drink more milk. I should be drinking more milk leading up to. Anyways, if you guys would just pray that it will have healed enough that I can start to walk, put weight on it. I'm sure it'll be supported for sure with the boot, and honestly, probably a little supported with crutches yet. I have no idea how this is going to go. I have not tried to walk, not really. I have not walked on this foot in over 2 weeks. But also in your prayers, if you could also pray that it doesn't hurt whenever I do try to walk on it, because I'm a wimp. I'm the biggest baby whenever it comes to being in pain or hurt or being sick. Guys, I cry. I just cry. I'm such a wimp. And so if it hurts, I know that I like to think that I'll push through the pain a little bit. I mean, like, obviously not overdo it, but like enough to like start to build up that strength back in my ankle. But like, if you could pray that it doesn't hurt too bad, especially if it's supported by the boot, because I really, 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 really want to start being able to do more things. So I'm just not a complete burden to everybody around me. Not that anybody's complained. Everybody's very gracious. It's more of my own projection, I'm sure. I don't like to need people. And that is a completely different issue and for another time. But so yeah, that's where I'm at. That's kind of where my mind has been these last couple weeks, as I've kind of just been sitting in this. So yeah, if you guys could pray for me, I would really appreciate it. And this is just a reminder that sometimes, no. Well, yes, we'll use the word sometimes. Life just happens and there's really no rhyme or reason to it other than it's just life. But whenever these things do come up, it also can be a really good time to slow down and listen and learn and yeah, all of those good things. So I have no idea how long this is actually going to be because I had to take some breaks in between recording it. So I'm thinking it's going to kind of be like a mini episode, but we'll see once I get in there and start editing it and get it out there for you guys. But thanks so much for listening. Like I said, next time Lexi will be back with us and everything will be back to normal. Hopefully all of our prayers are working and I'll at least be able to walk on my foot by then. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. And so until next time, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and a great week. And we will talk again soon. Bye.